How often should you change your bed linens? That's a great question, so we're going to talk about it today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by housecleaning360.com. This is a website that partners house cleaners and homeowners, or if you are an Airbnb host, it partners you with house cleaners so that you can get your homes cleaned and turned over for the next property. So check it out at housecleaning360.com. And if you are a business and have not listed your business, it's not just for house cleaners, but it's for professional organizers. It's for painters and carpet cleaners and window washers and everyone that services the home. Check it out at housecleaning360.com. All right, on to today's show. We have lots of house cleaners that are asking us during the global pandemic of the coronavirus, how often should we be changing bed linens? All right, if your house is an active COVID household and you have people that are staying in the house in the beds with the COVID, you might not even be able to get them out of the bed in order to wash the linens. But if you can, I recommend you wash the linens every day. If you wash them in hot 130-degree temperature water, it's going to kill a lot of the bacteria that is continuing to make people sick. So we want to wash them every day if at all possible. Now, not such a strange concept. In the Airbnb industry, we flip the property and we wash all of the linens. We clean the linens between every single guest for sanitization purposes. If we have guests that come over to our home, after they leave, the very first thing that happens is we take all the linens off the beds, all the towels, it all goes in the washing machine, and we reset that for the next guest. But what happens if you are just an average Joe, you're not sick, you live in a regular household? How often should you wash your bed sheets? Great question. All right, well, let me ask you this. If you were to wear a shirt, I'm wearing this blue shirt, and I actually have lots of blue shirts, so I don't wear the same one every day. But if I did wear the same one every day, let's say 8 hours a day, how often would I need to wash it? Well, the answer is every day, right? You sweat in it, you have body oils, you have dander from your hair, there's all kinds of stuff. You pick up dust, you pick up airborne contaminants, whatever, that picks up on your clothing. So that would need to be washed every single day. Now, the reason I bring up 8 hours is this. When we go to sleep at night, we are supposed to be having 8 hours of sleep. Does not always happen for me either. But when you're sleeping inside your bed sheets, you're tossing and turning, you're rolling around, you're also sweating, you also have pet dander. Some people fall asleep out of exhaustion, they never even took their makeup off. Now there's makeup on the pillow. Some people slobber when they sleep. It's just all kinds of stuff. Lots of people sleep on pillows, which their head is next to the pillow all night long, so they are breathing into that pillow, right? That's gotta be washed at some point. How often do you need to wash it? My suggestion is at the very minimum, it's going to be once a week. Very minimum, and maybe twice a week, right? Because you are inside this bed all night during the night. We spend about a third of our lives inside our beds. And whether we're reading in our beds, whether we're watching TV from our beds, some people even eat in their beds. Don't ask me why. They say if you eat in your bed, you wake up feeling crummy. Okay, so I don't know why. But yes, you should wash your sheets a lot. Okay, now there are a couple other things that I want you to think about. There are a lot of things surrounding the bed that also attribute to allergies. So even if you wash your bed on a regular basis, there's dust on the nightstands, there's dust on the bedstands, and oftentimes there's an overhead ceiling fan that collects dust. So when you pull off the comforter and you still have the sheets there, that's the time you want to dust the overhead ceiling fan. Because if any dust falls below, it's going to fall on the sheets that you're about to wash right now, okay? That is the best time that you can possibly dust that overhead light. Once that is done and you have pulled the sheets off, you have pulled away everything from the bed. All of the fabric is away from the bed. All of the pillows are away from the bed. All of the mattress encasings, everything that you took off the bed is away from the bed. This is a great time to grab the vacuum and go behind the bedstand and underneath the bed and scoop out any dust or any pairs of socks, any slippers, any hair, anything that has fallen that is then around the side of the bed, because that picks up dust and debris and that contributes to allergies. It's also a great time if you have bedstands where there are things that we use at night and then they just kind of pile up night after night and suddenly we have lots of weird stuff that's there. This is a really great time to go ahead and wipe everything down and make sure that there's no dust. If you have a CPAP machine, that you've wiped down the CPAP machine and everything is nice and tidy while your linens are being washed. Then when you bring the linens, the clean linens, back to the bed, that's when you have everything nice and tidy. The area around it is nice and tidy. If you have any windows that are there, you've washed the windows, you've dusted the blinds. Now when you put everything back, it only contributes to a really nice, clean, peaceful sleep. Then when you climb into those nice, clean sheets, there's this nice, clean, crisp feeling of everything around me is in harmony and balance, and there's no dust. I'm not coughing and choking on things while I'm supposed to be sleeping, right? So it contributes to a beautiful night's sleep. How often should you do it? At least every week. And I do want to recommend, we mentioned real quick in passing, bed covers. These are allergy covers that go over the mattresses and they go over the pillows. And it locks in the fabric and the mattress so that if you sneeze or you snore or you breathe heavy or whatever, that it doesn't penetrate that shield. It also protects bed bugs from attacking your mattress and whatever, where they would then live inside, right? So it prevents all of that, and it keeps dust mites and all that stuff away from you. So that those can easily be vacuumed. They can be thrown in the washing machine. If you use a mattress encasing, they're often plastic on the inside. You want to let them air dry. Do not put those inside the dryer because it will break the inside of the barrier protection that is made of kind of a plastic film. So you just want to pay attention to that. But those are very inexpensive, and they are a great way to prevent allergies from people who suffer from breathing at night, especially if they're snoring and they have hard to breathe problems. Anyway, so once a week at the bare minimum, if you have COVID or you are sick or you have the flu or pneumonia or a cough, cold, sickness of any sort, they should be washed every night during the sickness and probably 2 or 3 days after that, just to make sure you've washed all of that away. All right, I hope that helps a little bit. If it does, please pass this on to a friend. If we've earned your subscription, please subscribe. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.